Let's continue. Now the third use commas and the coordinate adjectives. This one comes in your test. So he wanted to say that coordinate adjectives modify a noun equally. It means if you change the order of the adjectives, it gives you the same meaning. So if I change all of these adjectives, I use here intelligent, I use here graceful, I change the same meaning. So if the changing gives you the same meaning, so you can use commas between them. But remember, we don't use and.
Why?
That is the point. If we change look to determine whether adjectives are coordinate or not, try to reverse their order and put the word and between them. If the sentence still sounds natural, the adjectives are coordinate and don't use and. If we use and, means the change can change the meaning. Did you catch it?
Not really.
Here, if I change the orders, it gives the same meaning.
Yeah.
So don't use and. We use and if the change of the order changes the meaning. Look for that example.
But why didn't we put a comma after the last one?
Here,
Yeah.
if you put here, you separate the adjective from the noun. This is a common mistake. Adjective, noun between them we don't use. Two adjectives or three or whatever. One or two or three between the adjective or adjectives, we don't use any punctuation, not only comma.
Oh, okay.
Use. Now we have another exception. Do not use a comma between adjectives preceding a noun. If what? If adjectives sound unnatural with their order. And this is like a common exception in academic writing, and it's not common in your test, but it can be about their order of reversed or without and. For example, here, this is the order of the adjective, like size, shape, age, material. Do not need to be separated by commas. Here, for example, look, size, long. And after size, we can have shape or material. Look, material. Look here for the color. So if you found something like that, the order. So any adjective talk about size or talk about shape or talk about age or talk about material, we don't use commas. So adjective, 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 and from these do not need to be separated. And that happens in any reading, but we need to check it, that's all. So your job is to memorize this. If you found them, we don't need commas. That's fine. And don't worry, inshallah, we will not test you more about this point. But how about the adjectives before a noun? Commas may be needed between some of the adjectives before a noun and not between others. Here, for example, it's cozy. It's not size or shape or age. Clean, not. Old-fashioned, not. So when it comes, normal. This is a compound noun. So this is a noun. It's adjectives, not from this list. So we need commas. That's it. Right? Again, we need commas if we have fanboys. Okay, this one we understand. Complete sentence, comma, fanboys, complete stop correct. Already we have it. But your job is to check, is this complete sentence or not? Here, each brother did work, so complete, subject verb complement, subject verb complement. So it's okay. So we need comma before, not after. Remember, the comma before, not after. And we don't need two commas like that. Before. That's why.
Okay.
Now we test you again. Write each correct any errors. In number 2, do we have any errors?
You will need to learn, think, and study. Um, while attending this class. I think that after think we should add a comma.
Oh,
And
come here. Verb, verb,
three.
verb. And all of them the same meaning, the same structure, the same pattern. Verb, 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 parallelism. Correct? But wait, why? Subordinated conjunction in the middle. That is the first clause. This is the second clause. Do you catch it? يبقى use a comma
Yeah.
here. Now again, do you have any mistake here?
Thunder stopped for the night at the small log cabin. I think we shouldn't put the commas
That is why. Look,
because
size, shape, material. Look, size or not,
yeah,
materials or not.
yes, yes,
So your job is just memorize these. We have a lot, but it's most common. Size, shape, age, material. If you'd like to make it S, A, M, just as you like. Some people they make it Saja, but don't care, just like memorize it. That's fine.
okay.
Remember, it's sometimes related to human. If we describe human, we can describe the size, big or small, shape, tall or shorter. Just like we need to know. For age, it's the age of a human. Only the material is different. That's fine. That is simple exercises. Another point comes for non-essential. As I told you, we can use non-essential information between two commas. When if we delete between them and it does not affect the meaning. So we can use commas to set off participles, like present participle phrases or infinitives, okay? Or any piece of information, by the way. Phrase, words, clauses. But the rule is if I delete between them, the meaning does not change. If that like that, so it's clear. Subject, verb, the children wrapped open their presents. Correct. That means deleting the information does not affect the meaning of the sentence. So the comma is in the correct place. So this comma is called the non-essential information between the commas. So we call it non-essential elements. And the elements, as you know, words, phrases, clauses. Again, if we delete this clause, does it affect? Look,
No.
that means it is non-essential. Do we need comma? Yes. What if I delete the comma? Wrong. Why change the meaning? If I delete the comma, you wanted to say that the street was calling. So who was calling? Street? No. So we need comma. Again, remember because
So is it a dependent or independent clause here? Happily calling out to her neighbors.
no, I'm talking about the non-essential elements. It can be clauses or no clauses. It can be phrase. Phrase, remember, phrase means not clause. So it can be dependent and independent. But the problem, does it affect the meaning or not?
Okay.
Here again, delete, check. I have no idea what he meant by that remark. So that is, feel it.
Yes.
We have linguistic terms. We can use it, but the easiest rule to delete and check the meaning. That's why. But two commas means non-essential. Can we use one comma? No. But can we use two dashes? Yes. And remember that when we study the dashes, we'll study this point. But
Okay.
what if we don't have any commas? We call it in English essential to the meaning of the sentence. Now delete this part. Remember this part is past participle phrase. Past participle and then phrase. I deleted. The most famous documentary film is Nano of the North. This information related to the film. So if I delete it, I will not understand which film exactly. Who did it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Directed by, we know who did it. Perhaps it's the same film, but directed by someone else. So the deleting will affect. If we put here one comma, wrong. Two commas, wrong. Look, two commas wrong. How? Here we have two commas. Okay. But if we delete it, it affects. So we delete the two commas. The same if we have infinite. Remember the phrases. Later we can give you a summary of phrases. But here it's infinitive phrase. Simply delete it. Do we have sentence? Subject, verb, and then object. Oh, clear. That's why the phrase or phrases are additional information in the sentence. So can we delete it? I checked. You said clarity,
No.
the film, and then to show the realities of an white line. So this information, if I delete it, affects the meaning because it's
Yes.
related to film. So I cannot delete. I cannot put comma here because this mistake we make it before. Comma. Can we use comma here? No. Can you use comma there? No. Because this phrase describe realities. Or this is phrase describe film. Look again. If I delete this part because it's an infinitive phrase, is this sentence verb and then complement? Where is the subject? There is no subject. That means it's a fragment because fragment means lacks subject or lacks verb. So it's not complete sentence, so it's wrong. So I cannot use comma here. You catch it? So can I use comma here? No, because this is preposition phrase describe a noun before. Can I use comma here? Wrong, of course. Use comma there? Wrong, of course. Can I use comma there? Wrong, of course, because this is adjective or this is noun. Mistakes. That's why. All of these common mistakes, we make it in answers to confuse you or to help you to delete or to eliminate some wrong answers quickly. So master, memorize the common mistakes. That's why. Again, if the non-essential elements is clause, the same. Delete the clause. Does it affect the meaning? The same.
No.
Does not affect. Is this information related to the meaning? Wrong. So it does not affect. So we can use commas. Remember this point, it will come in the test. We will give you an answer with commas and another one without two commas. Both of them correct, but it check. Does it affect or not? It's affect, no commas. That's why. And here is the same again. Clause again. The person is called the camera operator. Which person? Any person? Or who actually filmed the movie? Not any person. Yes or no? It's the same. The clause can be at the end, no problem. Can be in the end as you like. It depends on the meaning. Again, what if we have a positive phrase? As I told you, it can be any phrase. And the next time we'll revise all the phrases. It's so simple. Delete this part. Does it affect? James Wong Ho Bond. This is one.
Uh,
So James
no.
was born in China. What is the idea of the birth in China and his job? Nothing. So can we use common? Yes. That's why. So we call it a non-essential appositive. What is a positive in English? Additional information to describe the subject. That's it. So we can use comments. So the same idea, delete and check the meaning. How about if the non-positive is sometimes placed before the noun at the beginning? It is the same rule. If we use phrase at the beginning of the sentence, already we need commas and then the sentence. Now this is called the structure in English. If we use phrase at the beginning, remember any phrase or any phrases, not only one phrase, we can use it no problem. Subject, verb. That's it. That is a phrase, a camera operator for who? Who is operator? This person. In this is point, you need comma because you put the phrase at the beginning. But this
Oh,
comma is necessary. They said here, necessary. Feel it? That's one. We have another point. What if the apostrophe necessary? It's the same meaning. If it affects the meaning, delete the comment. Here it does not affect the meaning, but here it can be affected. Yes or no? Let's check. Let's check. James operated the camera for Martin. Martin reads film. What is a film? This film. Can I use comma here? Can I use comma? No, because if I put comma, that means the name of the film is not important. So how can I know which film exactly? So we need to delete the comma to know which film. You catch it?
yeah,
The same rule. Delete the non-essential. If it's a fact, delete the commas. Whatever the information, phrase, word, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, I don't care. But most common in your test, phrases and clauses. That's why. Now we need to check. When I see two commas, non-essential. Non-essential. Look here. Here we need comma, but where? Look, the brown horse, which happens to be in my favorite. You see? Comma. So we need second comma. Why? Because it already has comma. As I told you, no one comma. We don't use only one comma. Two commas or no commas.
but why didn't we put the comma before the already?
So that is the trap. Why it cannot be here? That is very good question. Now, already adverb or adjective?
Adverb?
Adverb. And the adverb
Yeah.
by adjective or modify, verb or modify, adverb. Now, if I put already in the clause, so it modify happens. But how can I say happens already? Or it modifies has. So the brown horse already has a rider. So the comma must be at the end of the clause. You catch it?
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Now again, do we have a mistake in number 5?
I am concerned. Um, Maybe about to tell the truth. Like, to tell the truth is unnecessary.
So we delete this comma and
Yes.
we delete it. And remember all of these common mistakes to tell the truth. I believe that, frankly speaking, to be honest, to be frank, just like additional to the feeling or to this to express the attitude of the writer. That's
Okay.
and a common mistake again, we don't separate the phrasal verbs like that. Interested in, regardless of, accused of, concerned about, worried about. We don't separate the preposition from the word. Common mistake. So we don't use any punctuation here, except if before complete and after explanation. So we have rules. Here commas again. This is one symbols. We don't test you. You know interjections. Oh wow! Oops, Alice, good grief! All of these symbols. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Remember the interjections? You remember
Do
interjection?
we, uh, do we
Interjection.
put the commas before them or after them?
After them.
Okay.
طب how about sentential expressions? Do you remember conjunctive adverbs? In fact, on the other hand, sometimes we call them presential expressions. But
Oh,
if we use them in the middle of the sentence, two commas, at the beginning, comma after, at the end, comma before. Remember this point, it will come in the test. Here, after all, between the two clauses, as we agreed before, complete. Remember? Complete sentence, semicolon, conjunctive adverb, comma, complete sentence, full stop, correct. That is here, so correct. But how about that? For example, at the end, that means that is example. That is an example to a sentence before, not after, because you put the comma at the end of the second sentence. If this is the second, oh, the number one before. We will refine this point later, but try to memorize it. Here, indeed, at the beginning of the second sentence, where is the first? Indeed, this is a fact. Indeed, for what? For something mentioned before. And we'll analyze some text later. But today, try to memorize it. If you use it at the beginning of the sentence, comma after. Like that. At the end, comma before. That's why. So, presentical expressions like that. Conjunctive adverbs, however, moreover, therefore, consequently, no problem. Here again, an example. What if we have them in the middle? As he mentioned here, anti, so similar to anti-analog, but it's okay. Antithetical phrase, what means? A phrase to show contrast, like not, like, like that. Here, Augusta, not Banger, it's a capital name. So we need two commas. Remember, do we need two commas or it can be commas and no commas? We must use commas. So this is commas necessary, not like a non-essential. Be careful. For non
I don't understand.
do you remember the point of non-essential expressions? We
Yes, it doesn't affect the meaning.
we can use two commas and no commas. It depends on the meaning. But
Yeah.
as for the antithetical phrase, we must use commas. So this comma is necessary, not optional,
Why?
because it's antithetical. We can delete it. Here already, if I delete it already without thinking, it does not affect the meaning. But for the non-essential information, sometimes if I delete it, it changes the meaning. You imagine?
Oh, okay.
That is a point. That's why.
So confusing.
That's why the punctuation question have higher score. And if you don't find punctuation question in your module in the digital set, you are at risk because you are being tested for easy questions. So be careful. Like that interjection, we need comma. Here, by the way,
Oh,
we need comma. Here, in fact, before full stop or semicolon, after we need comma. Here, well in the middle, we need two commas. Here, indeed, in the middle, two commas.
wait, how would I know? Like, if it took two commas or like a full stop and a comma? I have to look at the sentence before it.
That is the point. Is that a sentence? It did it. Did what? It's not. So we need two commas. That means this is a sentence from the beginning, but the conjunctive adverb in the middle, like that.
Mm.
Avocados, like other fruits. Here, antithetical or not, opposite, anti for opposite. We know.
Yeah.
Now, are you still alive? I told you before, have snacks beside you, not messages in WhatsApp. Yeah, because my brain memorized the tones of WhatsApp, Telegram. But for me, I change it. I always make my phone silent, by the way. Even in sessions or not, I hate phones. So help your brain. A small break. Let's continue. Commas with
Yes.
other elements. It means commas necessary in other places. If you want to use one phrase or two phrases or three, you have a rule. If you use two or more introductory prepositional phrases or a single one with a comma. Here, for example, preposition phrase. I know it because it starts with preposition. Preposition phrase again. So you have to, yes, before you start sentence, you need comma. So memorize it like that. Phrase or phrases, comma, start your sentence. Subject, verb, complement, full stop. That's why. Another mistake is this phrases describe the subject or the verb. It can be both of them. Here during winter, time of the action, in place of the action. So all of them adverb, prepositional phrase to modify the action.
Yes. Okay.
So it can be at the end. Okay. But now we test, is this comma necessary or optional? Necessary or unnecessary? Necessary. So be careful, commas. Sometimes optional. You can use it or not. But here it's necessary. That's why. Here again, above 1000. Look, all of it one phrase, but very long. Look, single long phrase. You need comma.
But isn't during the winter an dependent clause, so we can say that during the winters and in
No, no,
New
no.
England.
Excuse me. This is a phrase, not clause. The clause has subject and verb. Remember, remember,
Oh,
remember. There is no any subject or verb in any phrase. So the phrases have no any subject or verb. So we delete the phrases. That means there is no subject verb. That means they are phrases only. That's why he said introductory. It means at the beginning of the sentence, before. Look, at the beginning. Now we have phrases, but the problem, do we need comma or not? Or is it optional? No, we need it. Another trap, another
okay.
trap, very important. If the clause, all of it one clause, by the way, here, all of it one clause, and it's a prepositional phrase. Here, I'm talking about this one, it's a phrase, not clause. This is a prepositional phrase, but it's very long. Look, now, is the comma necessary or optional? Necessary. But why it's necessary? Necessary to help the reader to avoid confusion, to help the reader that the sentence starts after the comma. So the reader can understand the snowy mountain, the subject. Yes or no?
Yes.
We delete the comma. You will not understand who drowsed, holiday lights, or snowy
So
mountain.
this only comes in the introduction of the, like in the beginning, right?
Yes. But we have rule. What is the rule? To be long. If it's one. What if it's not long? We don't need commas. And long means many words. Short means one word or two. For example, here, if I said in, in 1989. No, 1989. This is short, two words. So do we need comma?
No.
Here it's optional. The writer can use or not. It depends on him. So sometimes
Why?
it why? Because the two words does not confuse the reader to know the subject. It's only two
Oh
words.
yeah.
But here we have many words. So we don't understand what's going on. So we need comma to help the reader. That's why we use it. That's why. That's why.
Okay. What if it comes in the middle of the sentence? I mean, in 1989. What if it comes in the middle of the sentence?
If it comes in the middle, you have
Yeah.
to two commas. It's a non-essential. Without commas, essential. Yes or no?
Okay.
Look, look. The example came. I didn't know it came. Look here, phrase. This one correct. How about this? Correct. Same meaning, yes. He said here, you need not, but it's not wrong. So if I write it like that, it's okay. So don't think that is one non-essential. It's essential, but does not. The writer wants to use it, okay. But many academic writers we don't use it. But in modern English, we use it to help the reader. That's it.
Okay.
Another rule: do not use a comma if the introductory prepositional phrase is after, immediately followed by a verb. For example, on the rock, by the fireplace, slept. Remember this point, very, very important. The rule says two phrases must followed by comma. But if you found the verb after the comma, I told you here the phrases subject verb complement. What if the writer it changes the order and use the verb at the beginning? Here you must delete the comma. Why? Because if you use the comma here, you separate the phrases from the sentence. Yeah, this is confusing.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Exception. That's why. Now let's make rules. I told you before phrase or phrases. In this is point, the teacher, the test maker was writing, it changed the phrase. Here it's a participle, okay? And this is participle phrase, okay, no problem. It can be any phrase. So we have six phrases. I'll send day to day notes about them to know them and we'll revise. Now here it's a participle, and the participle is verb. And this verb remind us of present participle phrase. This is verb happened by what? By the subject. So I told you phrase, comma, subject, verb, complement. Here we have verb. The subject after the comma must do this verb. If not, the answer is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Who was smiling? I. Or the performance? I. So after the comma, we need the subject who did it. Again, beginning, who? Beginning as a comic actor, who? Person. The subject of the sentence, Sally. So Sally here is the actor of the action? Yes. And the Sally singer, so actor is singer. There is no mistake. So if you wanted to use phrase or phrases at the beginning as an introductory, you must use comma. But the point here, he give you another example of phrases. So any phrase. That's why. Again, use commas after all introductory adverbs. Okay, we already understand it. Do you remember the conjunctive adverbs? Finally, in the end, in the long run, last but not least, all these expressions. If you want
Yes.
the beginning, you need comma. If this is comma necessary, necessary. That's it. Now we have a point. Before I told you that if we wanted to use subordinate conjunction at the beginning, we need comma before the second clause. So like that. Subordinate conjunction.
Yes.
So here complete clause, yes. Asher, subject verb, then complement, then comma. Here, subject verb complement, subject verb complement. So it's correct. Yes or no?
Yes.
That is. Okay.
Because like
Remember, if this is comma necessary? Yes, of course. Again, seconds ago, I told you rule that complete sentence, comma, complete sentence, full stop wrong. I told you comma plus mistake. Yes or no?
yes.
Right. What's the difference here?
Because it there is a subordinating conjunction.
So you must memorize all the subordinated conjunction in English language
Oh my
because
god.
we have no time. You must memorize and be careful about the subordinated conjunction as two letters. But sometimes if you are stressed, you can't find it. That's why.
Oh,
So we can use commas. All right. Here again, and this is one
and
very important, very, very, very important. Look, it is the same rules, but the subordinate clause in the middle. Look, before he became a movie star, Denzel appeared in the television.
yeah.
Was that said? Can we use the subordinate clause in the middle? Yes. And the two commas? Yes. So use two commas to set off internal adverb clause in the middle. So in the test, we test here. We delete this comma. Is this correct? Wrong. We delete the two commas. Correct? Wrong. So don't expect it to be non-essential information. No. And if we delete it already, it will affect the meaning. So already we don't need comments. But here, it's internal adverb clause. So we must use it. That's why. So we need two comments. Yes or no?
Okay. But isn't this considered like an unessential clause, like unessential information? Because we can just remove it, right?
If you delete it, the meaning will not clear because you delete information related to the content, the main idea. But I'm talking about this comma is necessary.
Okay.
And how can you know it? Internal adverb. Adverb means we have subordinated conjunction. Clause already closed. So imagine it like that. Before he came to this one, the subject. So imagine it like that. If it's like that, we can put it in the middle. And that's why. But the problem is necessary. We need two commas. Nothing else, not two dashes, for example. That's why. How about if the adverb clause at the end, like that? No problem. Because the rule said that subordinated conjunction, complete clause, comma, complete clause, full stop, correct. But look. Complete sentence, subordinated conjunction, complete sentence, full stop, correct. Here, the subordinated conjunction in the middle. Do we need any punctuation here? No. Remember, no any punctuation, not only comma. Remember, no
Oh,
any punctuation. That's why.
okay.
Now we have a very, 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 very important this example because it breaks these rules. Clause, yes. Subordinated conjunction. Look, clause. What?